helping revolutionize the way that tennis is played. This is something that is well overdue. Part of what is going to be happening in a beautiful way. The sport is changing thanks to the work of a team led in part by executive producer of Intennse and Andrew Satinoff. And he joins me on the Honest Nothing podcast. I'm Bryan Fenley, a tennis broadcaster. Intennse is where he's working on the creative side, all the media related ventures, and they are an up and coming new professional tennis league changing the way that the sport is consumed. And I know as we welcome you on, Andrew, that from somebody like yourself that has immersed himself in the sport, to see the changes like this has to be an exciting moment for you personally as well as professionally.
Well, absolutely. With my tennis background, I've been playing my whole life, and also my media background. Honestly, it's not a job because it's really a dream to be able to combine, what my profession is and my passion of the sports in tennis. To do both of those things together is pretty lucky, honestly, that this all came about. And for me, what we're attempting to do for the sport of tennis, which I believe is well needed and well deserved to give those players an additional opportunity to play professional tennis, whether it be, the players that have been on tour and just either don't want to do the grind, can't afford to do the grind anymore, or want that stepping stone from the college ranks through the pros. We're going to be giving players an opportunity to do that. And it's definitely needed in the sport for sure.
I remember something that Francis Tiafoe once said in talking about how he would be open to having fans being loud, making noise during
Yeah.
points, and that is something that has been strayed away from as far as the traditionalists in tennis. And I love the fact that I'm on your side with we need a facelift, some adjustments to more of a progressive way of thinking and the new mindset of the sports fan. And I feel like your team at Intennse is really harnessing that. And this summer is going to be the first year of the league. You've got three different teams. Obviously, there's a lot of different rules, particulars that are different from the way tennis has been played in the past, from time limits to different scoring systems. And all of that is very exciting and it's very fan friendly. When you put together this first match, the regular season starts this summer in a few weeks. What do you think is going to be the hardest adjustment for fans? Like they can read up on the nuances of what Intense is doing, but until they're there watching this play out, what is going to be the hardest adjustment for them to see play out?
Well, from the preseason matches we've done so far, the hardest adjustment is going to be that you can cheer during points and get rowdy. And it's like I like to look at it like Davis Cup on steroids. Because even during Davis Cup, you can't really say or cheer or be loud during points, but you're really, really loud in between. And if you're watching the French Open right now, the French, they get into it, especially when you have a French man or woman playing. When you see Arthur Fils today going into the fifth set after losing, the third and fourth set by a lot and pulling it out. I mean, the reason why he pulled it out is because of the crowd. So we're going to be allowing that throughout the entire match, throughout the entire season. And that's going to be the most difficult part is, during the preseason, even the fans were like, oh, we can cheer that during so it's going to take a little bit used to it. If you go to an NBA game, baseball game, anything like that, you're not going to have any problem because you're going to be, oh, it's a normal sport for the fans. But that's going to be the most difficult thing to overcome for the fans, but they're going to enjoy it. They're going to feel released. They're going to feel liberated from having to stay quiet. It's not church. It's not Wimbledon. So you can go nuts and have fun.
With that said, with all the planning that you are behind leading into that first match that is coming up in June, what do you feel like for you? You won't find out about until that first day, until that first ball is played, even with all the research and the planning and the choreography behind the scenes that needs to be done.
Well, for one, all the matches that we've done in the preseason up to this point have been at different venues around the South. They've been in Atlanta, they've been in Jacksonville, they've been in Tampa, and they've been at different venues as far as country clubs and that sort of thing. So it wasn't as controlled. They were outdoor, except for here in Atlanta, they were outdoors. So we had weather issues and that sort of thing. We're not going to have to worry about that anymore. The thing that you're really not sure of is we're going to be in an environment we have not been in yet. It is going to be very well staged. We are going to have panels all over the place. We're going to have lights. This is going to be a show. And we are going to be in a movie studio soundstage called Electric Owl in Decatur, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. It's actually in Atlanta. Um, and we don't know how amazing this is going to be without witnessing it. You can plan for that all you want. You could put all the lights and all the sound and all the cameras, and we're going to have a lot of cameras, but you don't know what it's really going to be like until you experience it. And that's what I want everybody to come out to see. Because the people that are there, the fans that are there, especially for the first one, they're going to be the first ones, just like us. So it's exciting to know, like, we're going to experiencing something completely new that has never been done in sport before, ever. And me as the executive producer of the content that we're putting out right now, but also of the live production, we're throwing darts to the wall and just seeing what sticks because we're going to try all kinds of different things. We're trying different camera angles. We're trying different commentary. We're going to have the coaches mic'd up. We're going to have an MC on the court talking to people. We're trying all kinds of different things. We're going to in the live stream, we're going to have multiple boxes of different guests coming in to commentate along with JY Abone, who's our main commentator and our podcast host. Zero Love. I have to pitch that. But we are going to be doing all kinds of different things, and that's the beauty of this. And with the support of Triple B, who has put up the investment for this first season, they're allowing us to just do whatever we want to do. They see the vision in this. So it's going to be very, very exciting to see this first week, especially.
When you have the creative freedom that they're giving you, how does that make you better at your job, knowing that nothing is holding you back when you're trying things, like you said, that have never been done before, but that doesn't say they won't catch on?
Oh, I mean, it's pretty crazy to when because I've run my media business, my company for over 20 years, and I love my clients, but there's always my client's boss, my client's whatever. So there's always that step where it's like, oh, we're not going to do that. We don't want to do that. This is different. Like I'm running the show, and our CEO, Charles Allen, and our board have allowed me to have carte blanche. I can do whatever I want. And they understand that we are doing something that's never been done. So we might as well allow the production to do things that they've never been done. So I've never experienced anything like this where it's just like, yeah, go, fine. You need X amount of dollars, justify it. But yeah, I mean, we think that'll be really cool. So there is no glass ceiling for what we're trying to attempt here. I mean, I'm putting cameras in places on a tennis court that, we don't know what it's going to do, but we'll see.
Where are those? I mean, can you give that away? I know it's sort of a secret, but like where, if you can, or if you not, if you can, I totally respect that. But the places where cameras could be that would be unique.
Yeah, I was down at the studio today. We're putting a camera directly above the court, straight up, and so we're gonna have a wide angle on that, and we're gonna be able to see the whole court straight on, and move that around. There is a particular angle that everybody loves that for some reason the broadcasts don't really use, and that is about 5 feet off the court, directly behind the baseline, because you can see the action. You can see it coming at you. You can feel the speed of the ball. We're going to have the high angle, of course. You have to, because you want to be able to see everything. But we are going to cut a lot to this low mid-range angle from behind the baseline, to see the ball coming at you. And then we're going to have a handheld camera on the court that is going to be handheld during the action that we're going to be able to cut to, and we're going to be able to see the coaches and see the players go crazy. So that's going to be a moving ISO camera. Like I said, the coaches are going to be mic'd up. They're going to be able to talk to JY during the broadcast to find out what's going on. We're going to be able to hear what's going on, I'd like to say, in the pits. And people are going to get an insight. And then we do have the traditional cameras, the low cameras on the court, near the net, so we can get ISOs. But we're going to be trying a lot of different things for the broadcast. And I hope they catch on. I hope people enjoy watching it. So but we'll see. It's going to be really exciting to see that first week how it turns out. I think it's going to be great.
What's a day in the life going to be like for you that first day when this first event, this first match unfolds?
Chaos.
Beautiful chaos.
Beautiful chaos. It's gonna be one of those days where 6 hours passes and it's gonna feel like 5 minutes because we're gonna be really, really busy getting everything organized and everything put together. And um, it's gonna be controlled chaos, I like to say. It'll be fun chaos. But the thing is, we want the fans to experience that. We want them to be a part of it. We want them to feel like they're a part of what we're doing. We want them to experience what the players are going through. We want their players to give the fans high fives. We want our ball kids, we call them the intensifiers, they're going to be part of the actual team. We want to see them give high fives to the players that they're the team of, their teammates. So we want everybody to enjoy this and feel like they're a part of what we're doing. We want the fans to feel ownership of what we're doing. So that for me is probably the most exciting part that tennis is missing, and really a lot of sports are missing, is just for you to feel like you're a part of what's going on. You've actually helped the team succeed. You don't get that feeling with even NBA, MLB. Like if you look, the way I like to experience this is if you remember a moment of any baseball game in your life. Okay. You're not going to remember every hit. You're not going to remember every out. You're not going to remember every home run for that matter. But if a player were to come in a foul territory, catch a ball right in front of you, and then hand you the ball and pat you on the head like you're a 12-year-old, you're going to remember that the rest of your life. No matter what happened in the game, win or lose, you're going to remember that the rest of your life, and you're going to tell everybody about it. That's what I want our fans to experience when they come to our events, is that they felt that they were a part of what was going on and that they experience what the players are experiencing. Maybe not on the court, but the excitement of it all. That is what my goal is for this league. Aside from the player development part of it and allowing the professional side of it and all the other thing that, bringing up the pathway from the juniors to college to the pros and on and on and on. But the fans are the most important part of what this is for. And the players understand that.
The fans will also be the best in spreading the word, spreading the gospel of what
Absolutely.
you're doing
Yeah.
because of having those individual like reactions with the players. I remember when I was a kid and I grew up in San Diego, went to a San Diego Padres game.
Hmm.
Montreal Expos came to town. David Segui broke his bat and then
Yeah.
walked over. And it's one of those situations. He walks
Yeah.
over and sees me, this little kid, and gives me his
Yeah.
broken bat. I still have
Who
that.
won that game?
I see. I can't even tell you.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You just made my point. Who won the World Series that year?
I can't even tell you because I don't
Okay, you
remember what.
made my point. You just made my point because you remember a moment that was personally important to you, and you know the player, you know what happened, probably know what the temperature was when it happened, right? You probably knew it was a nice sunny day in San Diego, which, happens a lot, but whatever. You remember that moment for the rest of your life. But you don't know what the score was. You don't know who won. You don't even know if he hit a home run that day. But you know you got a bat from David Segui.
That is the case. And also it's the best sort of marketing because I'm going to go tell all my friends next day at school what I did and tell them, hey, you
Yep,
got to get to a game as well.
yep,
What
yep.
are you hoping to see that when the word continues to get out about what you're doing, where do you feel like the proper channels are going to be as far as like the marketing that you're doing on top of the what the fans are doing? Essentially what I'm saying is like how do you feel like the game is going to speak for itself and be the ultimate marketing tool for this league in that you don't have to do a whole lot more than just do what you're doing.
Well, honestly, that's going to take time. It's going to take time to get the word out. We're doing something very new. Um, and people to see it is just going to take time to get it out there. Um, but I think that it's going to catch on after a few of our events this season, because people are going to realize this is a lot of fun. It's very exciting, and it's definitely changing the sport of tennis for sure. But it's just going to, social media is a big part of it. Our streaming partners are going to be a big part of it, marketing with us. And the different profiles on our YouTube channel of all the different players. One of the things that I really wanted to get out there is for people to understand when they go to our YouTube channel and they see profile videos of our players. These players are people. They put on their pants one leg at a time, just like everybody else. Yes, they're professional tennis players, but they have a story. So through our profiles, we want to get the story out of who these people are. Most people don't know. If you look at Ben Shelton, they know, okay, if you're really into tennis, he played at University of Florida with his dad as the coach, and did very well there, and now is a superstar, American superstar in tennis. But do you know what he likes to eat, what his favorite color is, what car does he like to draw? You don't know any of that stuff, right? Nobody does. But I want the people and the fans to understand who these players are on a personal level, and someday be able to meet them and talk to them and shake their hand, and especially kids. I want the kids to be able to look up to our players and say, look, I can do that too. So a big part of the marketing is going to be the players and their stories.
And they have to be very open to that. How have you found that the players that you are bringing on are, in a way, an open book, understanding that being vulnerable with their stories is the ticket to see this league continue to grow?
Yeah, our players, when we initially go through the interview process, they're all top players. All of them, for the most part, could be top 100, 200 in the world. But for whatever reason, financially, injury, whatever it may be, or some of them right now are coming out of college and using us as a stepping stone to go and turn pro, WTA or ATP. But they have to have the personality to be able to do that. They have to be extroverts. They have to be able to want to go and talk to the fans and give the fans a high five and be excitable on the court and show their personality. So that's a really important part of our interview process when we talk to the players, that they understand that this is part of the gig. You have to be intense, you know, and so that's part of the league.
What would it have been like for you? Because you obviously have a strong allegiance to the sport. If your childhood, your upbringing was exposed to a type of tennis like this at a younger age when you were just picking up the sport, how do you feel like that would have changed your perception of tennis now as an adult, now in the working world?
Oh, I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm so into what we're doing here because I was an okay player. I wasn't great. I didn't play Division I college or anything. I went to Florida State, attempted to walk on my freshman year, got hurt, played with some of the guys there, had a good time. I was able to hit. I still play a lot. I play a lot of tournaments nationally. I was ranked top 15 in the country a couple of years ago. Um, but for me, if I'm in college or even in the juniors for that matter, and I see something like this, all of a sudden I see a pathway. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. There's an opportunity for a player like myself who is not going to be even top 1,000 in the world, right? But I have an opportunity to where if I work hard enough, right out of college, I can give myself a year or two and go and try and play Intennse and see what happens. And if not, I still have a college degree. I can still go out and, get a job, do whatever. But there is more opportunity in this than there is going on the ATP or WTA tour for sure. Because when you're on WTA ATP tour, you're on your own. You are on your own. You've got to find the money. You've got to find the coaching. You've got to find the travel. You hope you don't get hurt. You got to find the physio. Every single story of every single one of our players, it's the same thing. It's a grind. It's an absolute grind to do this. And if you're not ranked in the top 150 in the world, you're not making money. You're breaking even from 100 to 150 even. You're probably not making a profit at that point. It costs roughly $250,000 a year to do this ATP WTA tour full time. It really does cost that much if you're doing it full time. And so what we're doing is providing that opportunity for players that even high level college players, Division I, that you know what? I want to get it paid a salary with benefits and prize money, save some money so that I can go out on tour the next year. And we're going to allow for that opportunity. And then the other side, the players that are on tour right now that don't want to do the grind, can't handle it, got hurt, whatever the reason financially, still high quality player, have the opportunity to come and play with us. So it works both ways. But to see that pathway, the legitimate pathway to play professional tennis, and not only that, but the team atmosphere. That's the part that we keep hearing over and over and over again from our players. They're so excited to be part of a team again, like they were in college, because everybody says anybody who's played college tennis knows that was the best time of their lives in tennis. Everybody says it. And so we are allowing that opportunity again to play that team sport, that camaraderie that came with college tennis.
To expound on what you said, I can't tell you how many times, and I know you've heard this, players, ATP, WTA, where they rant about the top heaviness of the purses and how, as you said,
Yeah,
you're probably making a profit if you are top 150 on both sides, and anybody below that is just scraping to get by, which does a disservice to the sport because there is and I love the fact that you are creating this vehicle because there is a marketability for players that are right there. They're so close.
yeah,
And until we channel that and we see the good and we see the excitement and the talent from those players that are so close, but with the margins as small as they are at the very top, but that people will still show up and support, knowing how close they are. I think that's what the sport needs moving forward. And as we conclude, Andrew, I know that what you guys are doing is not only going to be catching eyes, but it's also going to add on to the believers and those who in the past have been traditionalists. I think probably the best compliment that you'd probably get is, "Hey, I've always thought of tennis like this, but thanks to you guys, I now have a different perspective." And I think the folks who listen to this conversation also did and will have as well when that inaugural season gets underway on Saturday, June 21st. Andrew Satinoff, executive producer of Intennse. I'm Bryan Fenley, tennis broadcaster. Andrew, thanks so much for doing this.
thank you. Appreciate it, Brian.